if I wrote it out for you and gave you a script or whatever we need to do, could you invite a couple of friends over and could you say, hi, my name is, whatever your name is, insert name.
Yeah,
Hi, my
definitely
name
in the
is,
middle.
I like Zejas, Zejas good, watch this video. If you could do that, raise your hand. Everybody can do that, right? That's the point. It's simple, it's duplicatable, anybody can do it. That's why I can do it, because anybody can. Let's do it another way. If you can do what I just did, if you can say, hi, my name is, I like Zejas, Zejas good, watch this. Say, I can.
I can.
Some of you can. So guys, this is simple, right? Anybody can do this. It's just a matter of learning a couple of things and then just applying them over and over and over again. And if you do that, it's going to lead to a big business. And so I want to share with you guys a couple of quick stories, a couple of quick, remind me if I forget, 4 clues, okay? If I forget, remind me 4 clues, okay? I want to share with you 4 clues, and then we'll take a break, do a Q&A, maybe hear from a couple of other people real quick, and then we'll talk about how to get started. But there's 3 types of people. When you come in here and you know maybe this is your first time taking a look, there's really 3 types of people. There's someone that just wants to use the product, and that's okay. You know, there's nothing wrong with that if you just want to use the product. I'll do this. I like to ask this question. This is I became famous all across the world for asking this question. By show of hands, who thinks it's probably a good idea to consume the most nutrient-rich plant ever discovered? Okay, if I were to pose to you some evidence that were to say, this is the most nutrient-rich plant ever discovered, everybody thinks that's a pretty good idea. If you think that's a good idea, say I do.
I do.
It's a good idea. If I have to sell you on that fact, if I have to convince you, then you're just not serious about your health, and that's okay. I'm not. You know, I had a lady one time at an event, Greg. One time she sat there, you know, like this the whole time, and she said, "Now I need you to convince me about this and that about the product." I said, "Well, ma'am, flat out, I'm not going to do it. You know, I'm not going to chase you around and try to convince you of something that should be very obvious and apparent. Everyone can agree that's a good idea, right? And if you don't, you know, cool. You know, see you bye. But I'm not going to chase you around and try to convince you. Is that fair? Right? So, most nutrient-rich plant ever discovered. Now, the second thing that really stood out to me is Ken Brailsford. I'll tell you guys the #1 reason I joined this company is Ken and what he's accomplished in business, what he's done, you know, as a humanitarian, what his knowledge, his business acumen has not been surpassed by anyone. No one has ever done what Ken Brailsford's done. And I said, man, that guy's a winner. And I don't know about you guys, but I like to win, right? And I knew this. I know I'm nobody special. And by myself, I promise you, there ain't much I can do. Okay? Not much I'm going to accomplish by myself. But I knew if I attached myself to winners, people like Ken Brailsford, I knew that I could win by default. Right? Do you guys know that whether you're the worst player or the best player, Holly, on the Super Bowl championship winning team, you still get a ring, baby. Right? And I knew that if I surrounded myself with winners, that's what we could do. We could win. And that's what we've done, right? That's what we do, JT. We win over and over and over. So if you like to be a part of a winning team, this is it, right? And so Ken Brailsford's the main reason I joined this company, because I knew that he knew what it took. He knew how to build and sustain companies that stand the test of time. They become legacy companies. They last, right? I knew for my kids and my grandkids and my great-grandkids, they still be able to use these products and enjoy the income that I've created, the residual, passive, ongoing income from this residual income asset that we've created. My grandkids, long after I'm gone, they'd still be able to enjoy. Isn't that pretty cool? Yes. Right? The book that I read, I think he's the wisest man that ever lived. He said, a wise man leaves an inheritance for his kids' kids. Right? Isn't that pretty cool that we get to do that with this business? I like that. I mean, that's one of my favorite parts about it. And so, guys, 3 types of people. 1, customer. I'll put it to you like Luke Curry says it. So he's a big guy, or he's a big guy, I'm a small guy. So if you don't like it, take it up with him. Okay? He says it like this. How many of you guys have met Luke or you know of Luke? Right? He's a bodybuilder. He holds a world record in powerlifting. So take it up with him if you don't like it. But he says if you want to help yourself, be a customer. Nothing wrong with helping yourself. In fact, the most unselfish thing you can do for your family and the people you care about is get extremely healthy. Amen. That's the most unselfish thing you can do. Because guess what? If you don't take care of your health, guess who has to? Somebody else. Your friends and family. If you don't take care of it, then they have the burden of it. Right? The second most unselfish thing you can do for your friends and family is get extremely wealthy. Because if you don't take care of that, guess who's going to have to? Your friends and family. Somebody else is going to have to. Right? Most unselfish thing you can do. So the second type of person is someone that maybe wants to build a small business by sharing it with a few people. Maybe you want to get your products for free, you want to share it with a few people. Make a car payment or a house payment. And I'll be honest with you guys, I had a small vision, right? But I did have a vision. I had some vision, right? Because without a vision, what happens, Stephen?
Perish.
We perish. And I had some vision, right? It wasn't as big as it is now. It's huge now. My goal, if I told you my goals, some of you'd laugh at me. And that's the way I like it, right? Some of you, you'd be scared. Okay, but in the beginning, I just wanted to make enough money to pay my house payment on my Cracker Jack 900 square foot house I lived in. I wanted to, for my '98 Oldsmobile with all the dents and rust you can imagine. I wanted to pay the car payment so they didn't repo it. You know what I'm saying? That's where I was in the beginning. But some people, they have a big vision and they want to help a ton of people and they want to leave a legacy. They want to make as much money as possible. If you can do more, shouldn't you?
Yes.
That's at that point it becomes almost a moral question. I guess that's questionable. But if you can help more people, if you're capable of doing that, should you not? I think the answer is yes. In my opinion, if you can, if you can impact people in a bigger way, shouldn't you? Yeah, of course you should, right? So that's when people say things to me like this. Well, I'm doing okay. I say, well, good for you. What about your neighbor? Right?
That's right.
What about your family? What about your friend? Right? Maybe they're not doing okay. What if Kevin would have said that night in that restaurant? What if he said, "Well, I'm doing okay. I'm just enjoying my dinner. I'm not gonna step outside of my comfort zone, my cubicle, my yard, and I'm not gonna share this with that guy." Where would I be right now? What is today? Saturday number 3, 4? What is today? Thursday? I'd be in a restaurant right now, serving tables, broke as a joke. Not helping anybody, in survival mode, scrapping and scraping, just trying to make a buck. Guys, I was a slave to money. I was a slave to a dirty green piece of paper called money. It made every decision for me. It controlled every aspect of my life, to the type of house I lived in, the type of vehicle I drove, the money I gave to charity, which at that time was zero, right? It controlled every aspect of my life, right? And I was chasing it 80 hours a week. Sometimes people tell me, they say, "Brandon, money ain't everything." I say, "Yeah, you're right. But neither is poverty," right? Being broke ain't everything either. I found out. Trust me, okay? They say things like, "Brandon, money don't buy happiness." I say, yeah, I agree with you. But some of the things money buys, you can buy.
Buy a jet ski.
I've
I've never seen anybody say it.
Ain't never seen nobody say it on a jet ski. You know what I'm saying? Broke people made that up. Money don't buy happiness.
Poverty don't either.
Poverty don't buy happiness either. Golly, think about what you say before you say it. Money don't. That's like a moot point. Who cares? Yeah, of course it doesn't buy happiness, but neither does being broke, does it, Carol?
No.
My goodness. Why would you even say that? Here's why. Because they're justifying why they're broke. That's what they're doing. They're trying to justify. Guys, I grew up in the church. My dad was a Southern Baptist minister. You're seeing a little bit of that come out. But guys, thankfully my dad didn't think this way. He was also a business owner. He knew that there's more verses in the Bible that talk about being a good steward of your money than Jesus talks about heaven.
That's
So it's obviously an important topic, right? Not saying we should elevate money above heaven or the thought. I'm just saying it's obviously an important topic. It's obviously important that we be good stewards of what we're given, right? And multiply it, right? You know the story of the talents, right? It's important that we invest our time, our money, our resources wisely. Don't be lazy here, right? Be cautious not to be lazy in these areas because it's important. And so anyways, there's 3 types of people. You want to use the product. Luke says you're helping yourself. Congratulations. You want to build a small business. You're going to help a few people. Some people are going to get on the product. Some of them are going to get into business. They're going to see benefits on both sides, right? If you want to help a ton of people, build a huge business. That's what I love about what we do, guys. But the founder of the company, I heard it straight from his mouth, right? I was on a cruise in the Caribbean, sitting across a dinner table from a billionaire with a B, right? And he said, "Brandon, this business is so incredible because your income in this business." Now this is unique to what we do. There's not a lot of businesses you can say this about. Okay? He said, your income in this business is a direct correlation to the amount of people that you help in a positive way, you impact in a positive way, right? Whether you do it directly or indirectly, okay? Isn't that great? Isn't that great that we get to help? Guys, I liked my job. Trust me. I'm not one of these guys that was like, well, I just hate my job. You know, I liked what I did. 440, man, it's a pretty cool job, right? I got to meet great people. I learned a lot, right? It was fun. It was fun. A great environment. It was a fun job. But I wasn't exactly changing lives down at 440 Main. You know what I'm saying? And not many of us get that opportunity, but with this business we do. So here's what we do. We get a chance to help people, right? And I've talked about that. I beat that dead horse, I think. I love the way Cy says it. How many of you guys know Cy directly? Everybody know Cy? Cy, isn't he an incredible guy?
We love
Yes.
My goodness, that
Awesome.
That guy knocks my socks off, man. He blows me away. How awesome he is.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what, I don't want to do purple. Oh my goodness. You got a blue in here? We'll do Zija green. So here's what we get to do, guys. We get to help people. We get to make a lot of money. If you want to, right? Some of you may not, that's okay. And I don't apologize for that, right?
Yeah.
We get to help people, we get to make a lot of money, and we get to make great friends. I wouldn't have known most of you in here, with the exception of one, right? I wouldn't have known you guys without this business, right? So my best friends are in this business now, right? So we get to make money, we get to help people, we get to make friends, and we get to have fun. This is a blast. Guys, I promise you. There's nothing bad. Can we just get excited about helping people?
Amen.
I mean, can we get excited about helping people and making money?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we do, literally.
Yeah.
And what you can do it fast if you want to. You can do it slow if you want to, or some intermediate.
No.
I don't care how you do it.
So it says no slow, fast, all time.
I agree. Listen, success. They say success loves speed, right? There's no better way than to do it fast. And I agree 100% with Si. And that's why you guys got a winner inside.
Yes.
That guy's killing
Yes.
it, right?
Yeah.
And so I told you 4 clues. I promised you 4 clues. So I'll wrap that up, and then I'm going to ask 3 questions. So if I forget the 3 questions, remind me. So here's the 4 clues. 1 is moringa, okay? By show of hands, right, you guys all said moringa is a no-brainer, okay? I'm from Kentucky, just like all you guys, right? Now, I'm not the smartest guy on the planet, but most nutrient-rich plant ever discovered on planet Earth. I mean, even in Kentucky, we call that a no-brainer, right? It don't take a lot of intelligence to know that's a good idea. Right? End of story. You guys get my point here? I know you've seen other stuff. I have too. Right? I've even been a part of something else before. But this ain't kitchen knives. This ain't pots and pans. This ain't your mama's makeup. Right? This ain't vacuum cleaners. Nothing wrong with those products. There are some great products out there. I bought some great pots and pans for some pots and pan salesmen. They're great pots and pans. Nothing, you guys know what I'm talking about. Nothing wrong with those products. In fact, I'd much rather buy the product from someone that's maybe a stay-at-home mom or someone and support them than rather than some corporation, right? So those are great products. I'm not knocking them. Don't mistake what I'm saying here. I'm not knocking those products. But what we have is the most nutrient-rich plant. Have I said that enough? Right? Moringa. That's the one thing that stood out to me. 2, Ken Brailsford, right? Billionaire with a B. He's done it twice before. This is not practice for Ken Brailsford. This is not some gentleman that was walking down the street and just said, all of a sudden said, hey, I think I'll start a nutritional company. Let's chop up some grass clippings in my basement tonight. No, this is a billionaire with a B. He's done it before. He's the only person that's ever done this twice. Guys, that was a clue for me. Success leaves clues.
That's right.
That is what we call a clue. People that walk away from this, clue number two, Ken Brailsford, people that walk away from that don't have a clue what they're walking away from. I promise you. Right? They don't have a clue what they're walking away from. Ken Brailsford is a winner, and he habitually wins over and over and over. You guys know what the odds of one individual building a company to $100 million plus status? You guys know what the odds of that are? It's about 1 in 1,000. You know what the odds of the same individual building 2 companies to $100 million plus? It's about 1 in 1 million. You know what the odds of the same individual, same person, building 3 companies to $100 million plus? 1 in 1 billion. That means there's about 7 people on the planet that could even do it, statistically speaking, right? Guys, what does that tell you? That's a clue. This is not by accident. This is not like a strike of lightning, right? This is not lottery. This is not maybe or, fairy dust or voodoo or magic. This is calculated on purpose, step by step. He knows where we'll be in 10 years. Why? Because he's already been there before. He's already done it. And he's been there, got the t-shirt twice. Okay? Ken Brelsford's the main reason I joined this company. Okay? Third clue is this. Now these two were here when I got started. These 2 clues were here. That was enough. I got started with the biggest package that Zija offered, the Builder System 2, which is most of you guys have gotten started that way. That's the best way to get started. It's the only way, in my opinion. And I know it is in Si's opinion. But Builder System 2, before I ever tasted Zija, before I didn't need it to make me sprout wings and fly. I didn't need it to taste good. I didn't care what it looked like. Now when I got it, I said, man, this stuff looks like pond water. And I didn't care about the product. I didn't care about any of that. I knew that Ken Brelsford and Marine, that was enough for me to get started based on the business immediately and start sharing this with other people. But now we have a couple of other clues that I like to share with people because I think there's lots of powerful things you can find out. The deeper you dig, the better Zija looks, right? I'll say that confidently and boldly. And I challenge you to prove me wrong, okay? But here's one that I think is a big deal. Success Magazine. Anybody got one of those laying around somewhere?
Somewhere.
Right? Success. You guys have seen it, right? Success Magazine.
Is it was laying over there?
Darren Hardy, he's actually the publisher of that magazine, Success from Home and Success Magazine.
She's got one.
He's the publisher of it. He's going to be speaking. He's going to be speaking in Bowling Green. Thank you, I appreciate it. Everybody say thanks, Lisa.
Thanks, Lisa.
So, what if Success from Home Magazine, the publisher of Success Magazine, Darren Hardy, he's going to be the keynote speaker at our event in June 6th and 7th. Everybody going to be there?
Yes.
So, I wouldn't miss it, right? What if that guy did a 50-page spread on a company called Zija? What if he did that? And what if that magazine, the December issue, was on every major bookstore, Barnes & Noble, Marshalls, whatever they have everywhere, all across the world? What if it was right there front and center where people could have purchased it? Would that be validation? Would that be some credibility for you to be able? I mean, guys, when I got started with this thing, it was like, we got machetes and we're going through the jungle just trying to clear a path, right? We didn't have this. We couldn't just throw it. Somebody says, well, I just don't know about that, I mean, I don't know. That doesn't seem very legitimate business. I don't know. And, I mean, we couldn't just be like, well, there, plop that down on the table and just read it. What if the guy that's standing in your living room right now was right there? Right now, you got to get your magnifying glass out to see it. But, I mean, it's there, though, right? I mean, I'll be signing autographs in the dining room later. Just get your magnifying glass, you'll find it. But, guys, this is what we call validation. We have tools now that we didn't have. This was a dirt road with no street lights 4 years ago. Now it's a super paved 4-lane highway, and that's why people like Sign.
6.
And 6-lane, yeah. That's why people like Sign, and a lot of you guys, y'all are doing what it took me 6 months to do. Y'all are doing it in 6 weeks, in 6 days. Hey.
He hung up on Si's on the phone. He's wanting to check on everybody.
Oh, I got you. y'all are doing what it took me 6 months to do. Y'all are doing it in 6 weeks, 6 days, 6 hours. Why? We got it, guys. Clues, all kinds of. We didn't have this when I got started. All right, so clue number 4. This is a big one too. I just like this one. You guys saw the guy in the white coat. His name is Josh Plant. Okay, Josh Plant. And I said, I met the guy for the first time, and I said, "You changed your name, didn't you?" He said, "No, it's really my name." Isn't that crazy? His name's Josh Plant. So, Josh Plant, now he graduated from a little school you guys have probably heard of called Harvard. Everybody heard of Harvard, right? Yeah, it's a pretty good school, I hear. I mean, anybody graduate from there? JT did. So Josh Plant graduated from Harvard University. Okay? Now that in itself would be impressive. Everybody say, yeah, that's impressive, right?
That's impressive.
That would be impressive enough. But Josh Plant graduated first in his class. From Harvard Medical School. Not second, not third. Everybody say it with me. First. First in his class from Harvard Medical School. Now, in my little feeble, small mind, that begs a question. And I want to pose that question to all of you tonight because I don't like to tell people what to think or how to think. I just like to sometimes get us to slow down a little bit and think. Where in the universe could Josh Plant have chosen to work?
Anyway.
Anywhere.
Anywhere. In the universe, guys. He could have hopped in a spaceship and went to Mars and knocked on the Martian doors and said, here's my resume, Josh Plant, Harvard Medical School, first in my class. Did it in 3 years, right? It's an 8-year program. Did it in 3 years. Got 3 kids, I think, at the time, and a wife. Guys, he could have worked anywhere he wanted to. Where did he choose to work? Zija International. That's what we call a clue, folks. Now, I had the opportunity to ride in the car with Josh Plant a few months ago, back in October, last October. He picked us up from the airport, and I said, Josh, I just got to know, did you go knocking on Zija's door, or did they come find you? Because I thought maybe they went to Harvard and said, man, we're going to scoop up the number one and, pay him $1 million or whatever. He said, no, Zija didn't know I existed. I went looking for Zija because I knew the power of Moringa. And when I saw Ken Brailsford, I was done. He said, that's it, I'm in, right? These 2 things alone, same 2 reasons I joined. The same 2 reasons Josh Plant joined. Now, I'm not as smart as him, but these are the 4 clues, guys. Guys, this is not sales. This is not me trying to convince you. This is not me trying to twist your arm. If at the end of the day those things don't make sense to you, cool, see you bye, right? And it especially doesn't mean nothing to me because I don't even benefit anyway. This is not, you guys aren't even a part of my organization. I want you to get started because this is not sales. This is logic, right? Most nutrient-rich plant ever discovered with a guy that's done it twice before. This is his 3rd time. This is one of those things they say a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity comes around twice if you're lucky. If you walk out that door tonight and don't get started, I pray that this is not the 2nd time you've done that, right? So I want to ask, how many questions did I say I was going to ask?
20.
3 questions. So, and I'm just going to walk you through this because this is what I was thinking when I was taking a look at this. So mentally, I just want to walk you through my thought process when I took a look at this, okay? So first question is this: if not Zija, then what? What are you going to do? I had to ask myself that question, guys, right? See, it's not the blowing of the wind that determines where we end up, right? We're all kind of in like this little sailboat, right? You guys heard the story from Jim Rohn, some of you, I see you shaking your head, but we're all in like this little sailboat, and it's not the blowing of the wind that determines where we arrive. It's the set of the sail, right? So where will you arrive in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? What vehicle are you in? Is it going to take you where you want to go? Maybe it is. If it is, keep doing it, right? If it's not, I would submit to you, I would beg and plead with you that you would logically think about these clues and that you would get started. I'm inviting you to get started. But if not Zija, then what? What are you going to do? Maybe you have something better. Maybe you know of something that's changing people's lives more than the most nutrient-rich plant ever discovered. I promise you, kitchen knives aren't doing it, guys. I promise you, your mama's makeup ain't doing it. Now, those are good products. Nothing wrong with those products. Maybe you know of someone that's got a better track record of success than Ken Brailsford. I can tell you don't because it doesn't exist, right? Maybe you have something better. But if you don't have a better vehicle, I'm just suggesting that you get started, right? Don't stay where you're at. Don't say, well, I'm doing okay. Me and mines, right? We all right over here. Me and mines, we're okay. I'm begging and pleading with you to do something bigger, do more, be more, achieve more, help more people, leave a bigger impact. I'm just asking you to do that, right? So if not Zija, then what? Maybe you have something better. If you do, go do that. Just don't stay where you're at. Always grow. If you're not growing, you're dying, folks. I promise you, right? If you're not growing, you're dying. There is no static. There is no in between. You're either growing or you're dying. You know what Revelation 7 says about being lukewarm? Don't do that. Grow or die, right? I submit to you that you should grow, right? Don't die. So, if not Zija, then what? That's the first question. Second question is this: if not now, then when? This is a big one because we live in procrastination nation, right? This is, man, we talk about a people we've raised, my generation and even the generations going on beyond. My goodness, they want crock pot results with microwave efforts, right? They want it now, and they don't want to do nothing for it. And we've raised a generation of sissies, man. That's a bunch of pansies. My goodness, get up and do something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, my goodness. Now is the time, not tomorrow. The problem with tomorrow is tomorrow never comes, folks. Mm-hmm. This is the problem with hoping for a future without investing in today. It's like a farmer hoping for a harvest without ever planting any seeds, right? It's never going to come. now is the time. I call it now 30, right? Now o'clock. That's my favorite time is right now. And so, if not now, then when? When is a good time to take control of your health? When is a good time to take control of your financial future? Is it next week, next month, next year? Right? How's that working out? That plan, right? Who sold you on that plan? That bill of goods, man. They got you. I got some land to sell you too. So, if not Zija, then what? If not now, then when? And here's the big one, folks. Because everything is in place. I already told you that. The system, the support, products, everything is in place. But if not you, then who? I was fortunate to figure this one out at a pretty early age, just like Si has. I realized that nobody was going to do it for me. Right? They couldn't. My boss at work wasn't going to do it for me. The government, hopefully you guys figured out the government ain't going to do it for you. Right? I realized that if it's to be, it's up to me. I had to take control. I had to take charge. If somebody was going to retire my parents, who was going to do it? Me. Right? If I was going to take control of my financial future and create a lifestyle that my family deserved, who was going to do it? Me. Right? It wasn't going to be my neighbor or my friend just because they liked me or my boss at work or the government. It was me. So if not this business, then what? Maybe you got something better. If you do, go do that. If you don't, do this. Right? If not this business, then what? If not now, then when? And if not you, then who? Those are 3 questions I was thinking as I took a look at this. And I'll close down with a story, and I want you to hear from 2 people and we're done. Matter of fact, before I share that story, I want you to hear from JT real quick. His 30-second version of his story. Can you share real quick, please, sir? This is Emerald Exact. Everybody give JT a big hand. We're so fortunate to have JT in the room with us tonight. He said, man, I want to go see what all the buzz is about. You guys have created a fire down here. I'm telling you, seriously, right?
Gotta come see the prodigy.
Y'all created a fire down here, okay? And we're going to keep pouring gas on it, okay? JT doesn't benefit a dime for being here right now. But he
Get to
wanted
see all of us.
Well, yeah,
Right,
financially
JT,
speaking.
that's right.
Financially speaking.
Just see us, don't you?
But he wanted to come see you guys and see what y'all are doing because it's working, right? You guys are on the right track, and I want you to know that. But JT, if you could share what this has done for you, just real quick.
30-second story. You know better than that. I'm a teacher and coach.
Yeah.
So, I will give you. Here's the 30-second version. Ken Brailsford called me. Said, hey, we're looking for a new demographic in this company. We need some biracial folks. I said, Ken, that's the least I can do. So there you go. Appreciate y'all having me tonight. It honestly is a privilege to be here with you this evening. I appreciate Brandon reaching out and saying, hey man, come ride with me, go check out these folks that are absolutely knocking this thing out of the park, having a lot of fun, touching a lot of lives, helping a lot of people, enjoying great products, making some money. And so 2008, before Brandon was introduced, I was introduced. I researched the company. It was a no-brainer, as Brandon likes to say. No one had to arm twist me, beg, sell, tell, convince. A friend of mine introduced me. His name was Jason. And when I researched the company and saw what Moringa was, I knew that I wasn't getting from the food chain what I needed to get. I wasn't getting the right nutrition from McDonald's 3 times a day. Right? Pretty simple. Also, I was a school teacher at the time, so when he said, man, make some extra money, I said, yeah, let's do it. I remember I just got my first check. I opened that check up, and for some reason, whoever FICA was taking all my money. I called Mom. I said, Mom, who's FICA? And what's going on? She said, sweetie, you signed up for that about 20 plus years ago when you got that little number, that social security number. I was like, oh, gotcha. So that's what that's for. So the government can take all our money, right, as we work really, really hard. So I realized at that point in time, teaching wasn't going to pay me what I thought my time was worth. But when I found out who Ken was, I'll just be honest with you. We had a convention coming up. It was I got started in September. October, we had a convention where we released our first energy product. Because back then, we were on a dirt road with no street lights, no system, no tools, not a lot of support, only one product line. Who gets excited about nutrition? Woo, yeah, right? I was like, Jason said nutrition. I was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's go, right? Get real, right? So they dropped our first energy line. But what Jason didn't know is I researched Ken, found out he was a billionaire 5 times over, and I was like, that guy might have a single daughter. So I went to Salt Lake City. Come on now, talk to me. I went to Salt Lake City with high hopes. I was like, man, if he's got a single daughter, I'm in this thing. I'm inheriting $1 billion. That's with a B, right? Forget this business. Found out Ryan Palmer, vice president of sales, took the last one. I was like, my goodness. Every time I see Ryan now, it just breaks my heart. Him and Becky, right? But anyway, so I decided to build the business. So here is the 30-second version. It's pretty simple. Jason went out and built this business without me. Dogs don't chase parked cars. He couldn't drag me across the finish line. He had a dream. I wasn't ready, but the teacher will appear when the student is ready. And after a couple of years getting kicked around where I was at, making payments on everything, like Brandon said, broke, busted, and disgusted. I like to say I was B-R-O-K, the E was on layaway. And I made a decision in spring of 2011 when Jason had completely transformed his life. He replaced his salary, his wife's salary, and his mom's income as well. He was generating in most months what I was making in a year. So let's all say this here, that's impressive. Because we were school teachers making no money. And so I got off the sidelines because I saw his lifestyle change. I saw that, as Brandon said, he was married to his wife and not his boss. He could spend all day long with his kids and didn't have to take off of work, right? And so I made a simple decision there that I was going to go for it. I drew a line in the sand, and I said, we're going to make this thing happen. I just became a student of the system, a product of the product. I kept it very simple. I asked the #1 money earner in the company, Chris Estes, who sponsored Jason, how did he do it? And I listened to him. Whenever he said, read this book, I read that book. When he said, show up at this event, I said, cool, I'll be there. Because I wanted something different than what I've had, but more importantly, I was willing to do something different, right, than what I was doing to get there. And lastly, I want to leave you with this point, and I'll turn it back to Brandon. I realized that with my mom having a knee injury in 2006, that I, with one stream of income, was one physical injury away from losing my ability to work, right? And if your income, in today's society, if your income stops working when you stop working, guess what you'll never do? Stop working, right? But our lives do change every 90 days. And sometimes we have those changes that we don't ask for, that we didn't plan for. And I knew that if I didn't have a plan B, then I really didn't have a plan. So 10 months after that, I was able to step away from full-time employment. Obviously, I don't say that to impress you guys, just to impress upon you that if it can happen for me, a good old boy from Central Kentucky, that, as Brandon says, knew nothing about nothing at that time. If I can do it, it can happen for you. No business credibility, no background in nutrition, never been in network marketing before. I just knew that it was a special opportunity, but here's the deal. I knew that I was going to miss out on something. And I didn't want to miss the boat. I really didn't. I didn't want to look up 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and be one of those guys who says, man, woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? So I knew what I was going to miss out on. Why? Because Jason was making all kinds of money. And whenever Chris Estes showed me his check that he got from achieving the rank of double diamond elite at that time, it had 100 with a comma 000 before the period, a one-time bonus. I said, man, you better put that thing back in your pocket before I do something crazy to you. I never knew I could make that much money. And when I realized how much money Jason was making from home, whether he left home or not, two things were going to happen. I was either going to go out and build my business, or I was going to go rob Jason. And I didn't want to go to jail. Right? So I appreciate you guys. I'm an extension of support. Brandon obviously knows what he's doing. He's an expert. I've learned a lot of what I've learned in this business from this guy. I mean, look at him. Look how smart. Look how big that head is. Look how much information he got.
So guys, so here's the deal. I posed a few questions. I just want you to think. I don't want to tell you what to think or how to think. I just like to get people to think, right? And I hope this has been fun for you. I hope we've had a couple of laughs. I hope you've learned a little bit. I just learned that we just put a permanent marker on that board right there.
That was on purpose. The next meeting, guess what we're going to use?
Yeah. What's that?
Those 4 points.
There you go.
Yeah, you didn't want, we did that.
Duplicate them.
Duplication, baby.
So my permanent marker. Man.
We're going to erase the welcome Brandon part. And
Yeah.
use it for
Well, just the Brandon.
That's right.
Now, we're gonna get another one and he'll never know that it's done, and now we'll put that in the back.
That's right.
I'm going to use it.
So I want to share the story with you. The story my dad used to share when he was when he would be preaching sometimes. And some of you guys may have heard it, but there was a guy that lived in a valley, right? And there was a flood coming, and a lot of it's springtime probably. Guy lived in a valley, flood coming, and it's the right mountains on all sides, right? He lives down in the valley, flood's coming. Waters start to rise so high. He's got like one of these decks. It's a pretty tall deck, right? He steps out on the deck. The water is already up to the deck, and it's a tall deck, right? Several feet. Well, the water is so high enough that a boat drives by, like in his front yard, And there's two guys in the boat, and they say, "Hey, listen, man, there's a flood coming. Obviously, you can see it. It's already here. You need to get in this boat because we've already evacuated the area. Everybody's already gone. We're bringing everybody to safety. You're the last one." He says, "Listen, guys, this guy was a real pious guy. He had a lot of faith, right? He was one of those guys that was real just diligent, fervent prayer, right? And so he said, guys, I've been praying. I got faith. God's going to take care of me. He promised me he would." And they said, "Okay, you're crazy, whatever." So they left. Waters continue to rise. He has to climb to his second story, right? He goes up the stairs. He's looking out his window at his bedroom, his second story, and the water's flush with that second story window right there. He can dip his finger in the water. Same boat drives by, same two guys, and they say, "Listen, man, you got to get in the boat. Everybody else is already gone. We've evacuated the area. We're going to take you to safety. Everything will be fine. You lose some stuff in your house, but you'll be safe. You'll live, and you won't drown." He says, "Guys, I appreciate it, but I've been praying. God's going to take care of me. I got faith, right? I've been praying fervently." They say, "All right, man, well, whatever." So we can't argue with you forever. So they leave. Water continues to rise. He's got to climb up on his roof. He's like hanging onto the chimney, right? And a helicopter comes out of the sky, drops one of those rope ladders down, right? And they got the thing, what's it called? Like a megaphone. They're like, "Grab the rope. If you don't, you're going to drown." He looks up. He says, "Guys, thank you. I appreciate it, but I got faith. God's going to take care of me." And, I appreciate you guys, though. They leave. The waters continue to rise. The guy drowns. He goes straight to heaven, right? And he beelines it straight for God. And what's the first thing he says? Why'd you let me drown? And what's God say? "I sent you 2 boats and a stinking helicopter, and you didn't get in a single one." Sometimes God will tap you on the shoulder. Sometimes he'll hit you upside the head with a 4x4, right? So guys, this was my boat. I like what he said. He said, "I didn't want to miss the boat." Guys, I didn't either. And I wasn't going to. I don't know about you. I promise you this, boldly, confidently. I know you've seen other things before. I know you have. But you ain't seen this. I promise you. You walk away from this, you're going to see it on your friends, your family. You're going to see it on their counter 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now. And you're going to say, "Woulda, coulda, shoulda." And it'll be just another one of those things that you said, "Man, I knew a guy who knew a guy that was in that, and now he is doing this and that, and he didn't have a job in 5 years, and he drives a Ferrari." Don't be that person, right? This ain't kitchen knives. It ain't pots and pans. Nothing wrong with those things. But this is Ken Brailsford. Proven. Guys, if we could all hop in a little magic school bus, we'll call it a Zija Green school bus, and we could travel back in time, right? If we could do that, knowing what you know now, would you invest with Bill Gates? Knowing what you know now.
Oh, yeah.
Guys, they called him crazy. They said he dropped out of school, dropped out of Harvard. He's sitting in his parents' garage playing with some screwdrivers, casting a vision, sounding like a lunatic. "Hey, we're going to have a computer in every home in America, And everybody's like, "Whatever, you're crazy." Well, we know what the end of the story is. It worked out okay. Here's the difference in Bill Gates and Ken Brailsford. Bill Gates wasn't proven yet. Ken Brailsford is. He's done it twice. Now this is his 3rd time. We're a $200 million company. That's a 1 in a billion. Statistically, that's 1 in a billion shot. Okay? This is not by accident. This is calculated on purpose. This is chess, right? All right. So what I want to do is do a quick Q&A. We'll make it 5 minutes or less for those of you that have questions about anything that we've talked about, anything that we haven't, that I failed to mention. We'd love to answer some quick questions, mostly from a guest perspective, right? And then after that, we'll take a quick break, and I'll do a quick training without the. I'll do it with the actual dry erase marker, so we can erase it. But any questions from any guests or anybody that maybe you just gotten started recently, you have a question about the products, the business, the company, anything I failed to mention, or anything that we've already talked about?
Oh, that sucks. No.
That's usually how it is. As soon as we break, everybody will start saying, "Now, what about that?
Yeah.
Tell me about that." Right? Everybody good? All hearts and minds at ease? That's what my dad used to say.
Yeah.
Everybody good? All right, we'll take a quick break. I'll do for those of you, even if you're not in the business yet, you're thinking maybe I want to do this, but I'd like to know how to get started and how to recoup my money. Because people are like, okay, I get in, and then what? You know? Well, let me show you how to recoup your money. Okay? How do you become profitable? This is if you're looking at this from a business standpoint, that's what we're going to talk about. How do I become profitable? How do I do it in my first couple of weeks or first month or however fast you want to do it? I'll give you a roadmap. I'll give you a scenario, a generic scenario. It's very simple that you can do. Okay? So 5 minutes and then we'll come back and do that. All right?
All right.
Everybody give me a big hand.